everyone, and welcome back to the Willy Wonka Fibers podcast. My name is Anne, and you can find me on the web at my main website, which is www.willywonkafiber.com. I am also on Instagram and Facebook as Willy Wonka Fibers, and you can find me on Ravelry as Bunny Spinner, where I also have a group for Willy Wonka Fibers. If this is your first time joining me, thank you so much for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I definitely appreciate that. And if you're a longtime listener, thank you for returning and tuning in again. Today's Monday, April 25th. I believe this is episode 10. Y'all will excuse me today. I had a week on the East Coast with no allergies and got home Thursday from my trip to Baltimore, and my nose just started running crazily again. So a little snuffly thanks to my pollen reaction here in New Mexico. It's been a little bit of time since I talked to you guys. I was on travel last weekend. I went to the East Coast and I taught 2 classes and did 2 trunk signing book signing trunk shows for Free Spirit Knits, both in the Baltimore area. One was at Knit Locally and the other was at Black Sheep Yarn Company, and I wanted to say thank you very much to both of those shop owners as well as their customers who gave me a lovely welcome. We had a wonderful time. The classes were full. I think folks enjoyed themselves. It was a blast getting to meet some folks. There were even a few folks who I knew from having met out west who live in the Baltimore area who came to the book signing, so that was wonderful. And I also wanted to take a minute to give a huge shout out to my friends Laura and Kate, as well as Laura's friend Caroline. They picked me up at BWI at 9 o'clock at night when I flew in last Thursday, and they drove me around the greater Baltimore area, and Caroline was gracious enough to let me stay with her, and she and Kate made some wonderful meals, which was a huge thing for me. I have a very strange diet, and a lot of times when I'm on travel I just eat apples because they're safe and easy. So it was really wonderful for me to have like a real meal every night that I was there. And then I also went down to see my parents over the weekend and Monday, Tuesday before I flew home. They're in Richmond, but are going to be relocating to Baltimore. So that will make my trips in and out of the East Coast that much easier. So anyway, a really great trip. I had a blast. It was absolutely wonderful to go and come. I have to tell you guys I'm kind of maxed out with the travel right now. I have one more trip in April, and yes, I know today's the 25th. I'm aware that there is not a huge window there. My husband and I are flying to California for a family wedding, and then, fingers crossed, I am done being on the road till the end of May. I could use a little at-home time where I'm not trying to, fit things in, like drive to Albuquerque for a photo shoot on Sunday, which was going to be my day off, such as it is. Anyway, lots to talk about today. I did a metric tonnage of knitting while I was in travel and on the plane and sitting in airports. I took 5 projects with me, believe it or not. And most of those were done by the time I got home, and I finished the last one Saturday. I'm trying something new today. I normally barricade Emma the cat out in the other room, but she is out and about today, and so we'll see if she makes a little appearance or not. She's currently wandering around over here on my desk, but hopefully she will not knock stuff over. Anyway. If I'm a little distracted, that's because she's busy sorting through yarn as we speak. So let's talk about finished objects first. If you follow me on my Instagram feed, you may know that I released a brand new pattern, which is going to be debuting at the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival in Spirit Trail Fiberworks booth. Jen had asked me if I would be willing to do a summer top up for her out of her merino, tussa silk, and cashmere fingering weight base, which really, it's very hard to say no to something beautiful like that. And she had really liked a photograph that I posted on my personal Facebook page last summer of these trumpet vines going up a post in Santa Fe. And so she dyed up a colorway to kind of complement that picture. And so she sent me those skeins, and I worked up the Datura top, which is named after the plant itself, whose common name is angel's trumpet. So this cute little piece is what will be in her booth. It will be on display there. And of course, you can pick yarn up from her either through her website or in her booth at Maryland. If you're planning on visiting her at Maryland and getting the yarn for this, she'll have a coupon code for the pattern via a Ravelry download. So if you're interested in that and you know you're going to visit Maryland and you know you're going to Jen's booth at Spirit Trail Fiberworks, do be sure to stop in and pick up that coupon code for you. This doesn't take a ton of yardage because it's a fairly small piece in the sense that it doesn't have long sleeves. There's no button bands or anything like that. So it's knit from the top down. It's got raglan shaping for the sleeves and bodice. So everything's knit back and forth to this point. And then you put the sleeves on, the stitches for the sleeves on scrap yarn, and you keep working the body. It has a very simple little lace pattern that looks like climbing vines, which you can either leave lightly blocked, which I did for the sample, so it's a little bit more form-fitted, or you can block it more stringently and have the lace pattern open up a bit more and create almost an A-line shape to the bottom of the bodice. Say that 3 times fast. Minimal finishing. All you have to do is weave in ends and graft the armpit sleeves seam together. Top is really basic, stockinette. The last little tidbit is that once you're finished everything, you'll pick up stitches for the neckline and add a cute little picot trim, which I really like. I think it makes it a very feminine piece that way. So this sample, which is the size 34, took only about a skein and a half. Jen's skeins are very generous, and so I believe up through size 36, and there are 8 sizes, you can get by with 2 skeins yarn, and then I think the most yard, or the most number of skeins you have to buy is 5 for the largest size, which to me seems like not so bad. I think it's a really smart use of your yarn dollars, because you have this great little top, and I could see it worn both, you know, with just a shell under it or nothing if you're that adventurous. But you could also put on a t-shirt, a long sleeve t-shirt for those transitional seasons, like right now or into the fall, and still get even more wear out of it as a layering piece, sort of a vest top kind of combo. So anyway, that is live on Ravelry, and like I said, if you want to go by and see the sample, it will be in Jen's booth at Spirit Trail Fiberworks at Maryland Sheep and Wool in a couple of weeks. So that's finished object number 1. Finished object number 2 I'm wearing. This is my Drachenfels Shawl, which I knit for the Harry Potter knit-along that's being hosted by Katie of Inside Number 23, as well as the Harry Potter knit-along that's being hosted by Jilly at the Knitting Broomstick. This was such a fun, easy, straightforward pattern. It was exactly what I needed when I wasn't doing my own design work, to have a little refresher. Lots of garter stitch and a little bit of slip stitch. It's very generous. So this is the beginning. The two colors there are Serpent, which is the green, and Tangerine, which is the orange. This is kind of the middle section. And then the final bit, which I just adore this color, is the kind of bluish speckle dye is called Sea Dragon. And again, you have that slip stitch pattern in Tangerine. Just really bright, fun, cheery colors. I knit this on the Willy Wonka Fibers Caradwin sock base. Obviously 3 skeins because there's 3 colors, and I didn't use all of any one of the skeins, but I came pretty close on the final color here. So I have added this to my toss on with jeans, toss on with whatever repertoire. It's a nice weight. It blocked out great. It's got a gorgeous drape. Just loved the pattern. Loved everything about it. It was fun. Straightforward and easy knit, other than the fact that you're using 3 skeins of yarn, so there's a fair amount of yardage involved, but there's absolutely nothing too difficult that someone who's done knit purls, knit 2 togethers and increase knit into the front and back of a stitch couldn't handle. Just all kinds of good things to say about that. So this was project number 2 that I finished while I was gone. Project number 3, I can't actually share with you because those are the project that I was working on using the Woolen Rabbit Pearl sock yarn. I finished that project, but it's for my fall collection, so you'll get to see that later in the season, later in the fall. I also finished yesterday the 5th anniversary shawl pattern that I had been commissioned to do for the Yarn Guys for their shop anniversary and their personal anniversary. That's currently blocking upstairs. I wove in ends last night, so that's finished and off the needles. I had a lot of knit time, let's say that. And so that I'll get to show you sooner rather than later, but it's not quite ready for its debut. That'll probably be in another 2 weeks. And then finally, I finished up the sample socks for the May Colors of New Mexico self-striping sock yarn. This particular month, I was inspired by the multiple lavender festivals that are held here in the northern half of the state. There's one at the kind of historic Fort Las Golondras, and then there's tons of lavender farms up in our area and up into the Jemez Mountains. This high desert climate, one of the things that it does grow really well, because there's not a whole lot else, is lavender. It likes the kind of sandy soil. It likes the hot days, cooler nights, the limited moisture. I have several lavender plants of my own out front in a raised bed by our garage. And I love lavender. So I thought, well, this is perfect because the plants are starting to get it together. May is generally the season where the early ones start blooming, and then they run through the kind of height of summer months, and just lovely soft plants. So here is the colorway for May. It has a really pale purple, then a mid-range purple, and then kind of a dark bluish purple in multi-width stripes. I knit these up on my usual 64 stitches in the round, 2x2 rib here, afterthought heel, which I almost always use when I'm traveling, and then just a wide toe. I knit these on US size 1, the 2.25 millimeters. So again, this colorway, which is Lavender Fields, is going to be available in the shop starting today, and that will run for the next 3 months. The usual kind of thing where you may pick one of 4 sock yarn bases, and I will then dye your skein on the base that you've chosen. So everything's done as a pre-order, a couple of 3 weeks to get it to you. But anyway, these need a quick bath, but they are otherwise, I'm considering them done. Everything's, all the ends are woven in, and they just need a quick bath. I should say I worked these up on the Ayrton sock, the merino, superwash merino cashmere nylon base, which is my personal favorite. I just like how soft it is, and I like how it knits up. So that is my last finished object for today. I think that was enough. Yikes, yeah. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about are works in progress. So right now I have, I'm kind of in that moment where I'm about to start a whole bunch of new things. The first thing that I have put on my needles is the next project for the fall design collection. I can't show you where I am with the project. It's a sweater. But I will tell you that I am working it up in some really gorgeous Harrisville Shetland, their fingering weight Shetland. This color is blackberry, and it's a really, really amazing dark purple. It's got like navy blue and black undertones, but I think gorgeous for fall. And again, it's their traditional jumper weight, fingering weight yarn, and so I'm working that up for a women's sweater. That's kind of my priority project. I'm hoping to make a lot of progress on that. I'll even probably take it as my travel project for this upcoming weekend's travel. I just need to get that done so I can get it graded and move on to the next one. I have 4 projects that I'm working on for the fall design collection. It'll be a pair of socks, which are the Woolen Rabbit Pearl sock yarn that I talked about, having finished that project. This project with the Harrisville fingering weight Shetland. A second sweater project that's with another Harrisville line. It's their brand new DK weight that is kind of, it's very similarly spun to the Brooklyn tweed loft. Yeah, it's probably similar to loft. It kind of is in between the fingering and the worsted weight of the Brooklyn tweed line. But anyway, it's called Flywheel. So I have a project in that, and then I have a shawl project that I'm actually doing in Brooklyn tweed loft. So those will all be out September, most likely, and more details to come on that project because it's a fun one. Oh, so I didn't bother to bring it to podcast about. I still have my heathered cardi, but that is currently in time out. It's the one I was working on that's kind of the mid-range charcoal gray. I just need to focus on my fall designs, get those garments off the needles so that I can think of other things. Kind of coming hopefully to the end of the crazy like multiple design projects that are on really short deadlines. And this one is partially my fault because I had sort of cleared the decks, ready to work on these projects for 2 months, and then I had other commissions that came in that just kind of needed to go ahead of these in the queue. So I'll get them done. It's just they'll be my focus project, and it's kind of boring for me to talk about because I can't show you guys anything. Minor details. So one other project that is currently on the needles, which I have in this gorgeous project bag that I got from Diane, who is the Suburban Stitcher. It's got her cute little drawstring with the measuring tape at the top. And this gorgeous batik fabric. And let me show you the inside. The inside is a really nice complement. It's kind of tonal wheat sheaf or grass stem fabric. Really pretty. I decided since I like to have a plain vanilla type pair of socks on the go, especially when I travel, because sometimes I get to a point that I need to have computer access to work on charts or update my text or whatever I'm doing with designs, but I can pretty much always knit plain vanilla socks. Um, I cast these on yesterday. This is the yarn, which is a really pretty pink. It's got pink and kind of parchment and a little bit of gold, and then some pops of a really, really, really dark chocolate brown in it. The yarn is from Stash. It's from Peepaloo Fields. Here's their tag. Oop, there's some glare. There we go. The colorway is called Old Soul, and it's on her sock base that is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. So I've got the cuff done, and I've got this much taken care of for the first leg. Love how this is knitting up. I've found out this year that what I really should not do is ever say, I don't think I'm that kind of a girl. Like, I don't think I'm really a pink kind of a girl. I don't think I'm really a self-striping sock yarn kind of a girl, because apparently that is a huge big fat lie. Anytime I say that, I somehow subconsciously feel the need to rebel against that statement, apparently, because pink, self-striping, just saying. So if y'all ever hear me say, I don't think I'm a whatever kind of girl, know that that is just a bald-faced lie that's going to get shot out of the water. I'm also not a joiner, but apparently I am, because I'm in the midst of just finishing up one knit along. And what I decided I would do, because I like to kind of try out new techniques on something relatively plain. It's just fun for me to try new heels, try new toes, try new cast-ons, whatever. I decided that I'm going to join the knit along that Jilly at the Knitting Broomstick is hosting for the Coffee with CC collection. If you haven't run into this already, it's a collection of 6 sock patterns and 1 shawl pattern. You've got the whole year to work on these. And I thought, well, this would be a great way to, 1, run through some stash, because it's 6 pairs of socks. 2, just do some plain vanilla socks, but also a few with a little bit of detail. There's nothing super, super complex in the collection of the socks, of the 6 socks. And I've got oodles and oodles of sock yarn, just oodles. So this would be a good way to push me to knit some socks that would also go along with the 2 sock knit alongs I'm doing that run this whole year. The Box O Socks knit along that's being hosted by Kristen at the Yarngasm podcast, as well as Jilly's Year of Socks knit along. And who doesn't need more socks? If there's one that I don't love the colors, perfect for Christmas. Anyway, so this is the vanilla cappuccino, French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern from Coffee with Cece. If you haven't knit socks before, this is a great beginner pattern, and I think well worth the price of admission. Even if you don't pick up the whole collection, the standalone pattern on Ravelry is only $3, and it's got 3 sizes, a small, medium, and large, but it also gives you top down and toe up versions, so you can try those and see which you like. And it also, Cece did a great job. The pattern includes this really extensive measurement set that if you haven't knit socks before and know what fits you, helps you figure out what size you want, how tall you want the leg, how long the foot needs to be, all of those things, which again, if you haven't knit a pair of socks, this is really helpful information. So you get a pair that fits, that you love. So, you know, this was nothing earth-shattering for me. It's twisted rib knit one through the back loop and then purl for the ribbing, and then just basic stockinette for the leg. I am going to use the short row heel that Cece has in there, just to, you know, kind of follow the pattern. So these will just be my work on when I have, you know, stand in line time, or on the airplane time if I need a break from thinking about knitting. And I'm really excited about these. I think the colorways are fun and really springy. I should also mention that the pattern, while it's knit for a magic loop, does give you suggestions if you want to do the 2 circs or if you want to go to DPNs. Kind of your choice. But anyway, so that's on the needles currently. And will be a travel project for this upcoming weekend. And then the final thing, which is not currently on the needles, but I'm going to wind the yarn as soon as I'm done chatting with you all. I am co-hosting a shawl knit along with Laura of At the Corner of Knit and Tea. And I've talked about this before because it's running from the beginning of April through the last day of May. So there's certainly time if you'd like to join. All of the details are in my Ravelry group. There are 2 threads. One's a finished object thread that we've already had a couple of gorgeous projects in. And then the other is the chit-chat thread. My original plan was to knit Gunner's Cove by Laura Ayler with a skein of my hand spun. And I still am going to knit that shawl at some point. But I decided that I really didn't need another 800-yard project right now. And I want to knit along with the knit along. So I've regrouped and I'm going to do a different project that I can double dip with, because while the Harry Potter knit along has finished on Jilly's group, because that was, well, it will be finished at the end of April. Next month, her fandom knit along is for Jane Austen projects. And you guys, I love Jane Austen. There's no way I can't not work on something for that knit along. So I decided what I'm going to do is, instead of the Gunner's Cove shawl, I'm going to knit myself another sample of my pattern, the Lizzie Shawl, which is inspired by Elizabeth Bennet. It's one of my older patterns. I want to have some better photographs taken, so that's a win-win situation. And one of the shops that I used to wholesale to, who shall remain nameless, closed, but they never bothered to send any of my borrowed samples back. And so I don't even have a sample of the original piece anymore. So I am going to be knitting up the shawl using my Nimue sock, which is what the pattern calls for. I decided that one of the things I wanted to do was to put together kind of a bespoke collection of Austen heroines. And so this is the color Miss Elizabeth Bennet, which I dyed, you know, pretty specifically to work the shawl up with. It's a really, really soft gray blue, blue-gray that I love. I think it's perfect. It's perfect for me anyway. So I'm going to be knitting up my Lizzie Shawl in the Miss Elizabeth Bennet colorway. If you love this, you can order it through the shop, and I will get to more of that in just a minute. So this is going to go on the needles, if not this afternoon, then probably tomorrow, and get me started on that. So a little regrouping, but I feel like I'm kind of back on the page, and it'll count to at least 2 of the knit-alongs that I'm interested in doing over the month of May. So we have that. And I did just want to share with you guys, one of the things that I did for myself as part of the Harry Potter knit-along was to work up a little project bag. I figured if nothing else, like if I didn't get the Drachenfels finished, I would still have a little something, and I can always use bags. I think it was 3 podcasts ago I mentioned the fact that I had run out of project bags, so project bags, always good. This one I just sewed up for myself. The fabric is from Spoonflower, and it's got all these great Harry Potter symbols, as well as the Nimbus 2000, of course. And then the interior has quotes from the book. Books, I should say. It's not just one book. I just really love that fabric. Buying small amounts on Spoonflower is not cheap, but if you're just making a bag for yourself, awesome. You know, and these are not huge time commitments. They're great little fun projects that, you know, take less than half an hour. Big enough for a full skein and a pair of socks in progress. So my plan is also to sew up another bag that size for the Jane Austen knit along to put my shawl in, and I'm hoping to do that next weekend, not this weekend, but the first weekend in May. So I will have that to show you at some point. Okay, I think that's it for current works in progress. Stay tuned. There'll probably be another pair of socks on the needles at some point. I don't know about you guys, and maybe it's because warm weather is coming, but I don't really want to knit sweaters right now. All I want to knit are socks. It's been a while since I've knit socks, but at the same time, all the socks. That's all I want to knit is just socks. Don't care if they're vanilla, don't care if they're patterned, don't care if they're striped, whatever, all the socks. So moving on to not really new acquisitions. These aren't things I bought, but I got a lovely, lovely package of minis and tea from my friend Andy, who is my sister's knitter. If you haven't run into her blog, and I'm not sure why you haven't, because it's very popular, and she is a lovely, lovely person. I've known Andy for years. She's test knit for me. She's just wonderful. I can't say enough good things about her. And she loves her sock yarn. So she sent me a little mini skein and tea package. The minis are for my Cozy Memories blanket, which was on timeout last week. I'm working on some squares for it this week, so you'll see those at the next podcast. But anyway, she sent me these 3 great teas. Always. I always laugh. Y'all know me so well. Everybody keeps sending me stress relief things. Here, stress relief. Andy assures me that this tea is delicious, even if you aren't stressed out, but I'm saving this for a particularly stressful day because honey lavender sounds wonderful. And I have been wanting to try this, the Wild Sweet Orange tea from Tazo. It looks wonderful. It's got lemongrass, blackberry leaves, rose hips, spearmint, orange peel, hibiscus, rose petals, orange essence, ginger root, licorice root, and licorice extract. So this may be an afternoon tea today. And then this lovely little tea that sounds like a dessert tea. It's got cocoa and chocolate, vanilla, and cherries, and black tea as well. So thank you for sending those, Andy. That was a nice little extra. And then you guys, she sent me all of these minis. There's all kinds of gorgeous colorways in here. Oops, get my hands out of the way so you can kind of see them better. So there's some Madeline Tosh, there's Cascade Heritage, some Knit Picks, Buckaloo View, Handmaiden, and let's see what else is in here. Top Drawer Sock, which is this fun little bright green. Hadn't tried this one before, so that'll be kind of a fun thing. I will be right back. I need to go grab my door. Hey, sorry about that, guys. My husband did not take his inhaler to work and was having a little asthma attack, so that was him popping in to get his whiffer. All is well. Anyway, so I got that lovely package from Andy, and Andy, I can't thank you enough. I'm going to really enjoy having some of your yarns in my memories blanket. Just very special to have those in there, so thank you for sending those to me. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that along with the Elizabeth Bennet colorway that I worked up, the one that I showed you, this one, I've actually done a whole collection of minis that are themed on the Jane Austen heroines. And these are currently available in the shop. You can get them a la carte or you can get them as a pack, depending on what you want to do. They're currently just available on the one sock base, but you can order them as a custom order, which just takes a little longer because I don't have those sitting ready to go into packages, on the sparkle yarn base. So these are all dyed up on my Rhiannon sock. I think they would be really fun for some stripy socks. I think they'd be really fun to put in a Cozy Memories or mitered square type blanket, and I actually have set aside a set for myself to go in the Cozy Memories blanket. So let me show you the colorways. So I have 5 tonal kettle dye colorways that are mostly solid, and then I have 2 random / speckle dye colorways that coordinate. So you guys have seen the Elizabeth Bennet colorway. It's kind of a soft blue gray. This is Emma, which is kind of a primrose yellow. It's a little bit softer in real life than it's showing up here, but pale yellow. Fanny from Mansfield Park, which is a really deep purple. It's a little bit gray, kind of undertones in there, but reads as a purple. Anne Elliot from Persuasion, one of my favorite characters. This is kind of a bluish green. It's also reading maybe a little bit more intense than it is in real life. And then Marianne from Sense and Sensibility, which is kind of old rose. It's also darker in real life than it's showing up here. So here are the tonal dyes all together. Let's see, I can get you guys so you can see them all. They're all kind of soft, antiqued type colors. Nothing crazy, nothing super bright. Sorry, digging stains off the floor because they're kind of everywhere. And then the 2 multicolors that I have to go with that. This one is Chawton Cottage. Say that 3 times fast. It's got a white base and then little speckles of 2 different greens, kind of dark green and then kind of a subtle herb green and pink, kind of a rosy pink. So that's Chawton Cottage. I cannot say that today. I don't know why I keep defaulting to college. And then this one, which has kind of teals and some plum and some lavender in it, is called Wood Violets. And so I dyed these up thinking that they would be really fun complementary colors. Let's see if I can get this to show. This yellow is reading way brighter than it actually is. No, it's still reading way brighter. Y'all will have to take my word for it. I will attempt to get some better pictures up on the website. But I thought, like, for instance, that would be a fun color combination. And then I also thought this would be a fun color combination as well. So, like I said, if you decide that you want the whole pack, there's 7 skeins in it. Each skein is 97 yards, and it's the Rhiannon sock base. So it's 75-25 superwash merino nylon. So I think socks would be great in it. I think it would be awesome as just a stripy cowl. All of these colorways are also available through the custom order if you decide that you would like a full skein of something. For instance, if you wanted to do, let's see, this is my favorite, a pair of socks out of this, out of the wood violets, and then pair that with Fanny for the toes and heels, you could get a mini skein, and then you could get a full skein of this. And I may actually be making a set of those up for myself. You know, all the socks, and then these colors, which are so me. I can't even begin to tell you. But I also really like, I like these two together, the Anne Elliot and the Chawton Cottage. See, I almost did it again. And it also would be awesome with the pink. If I were a pink kind of girl, which I guess I am, I would do this color combination too. So lots of different things you can mix and match, but those are all up, and I think would be really fun if you decide that you're going to participate in Jilly's Jane Austen along in May. Anything else I need to say on that? Let me check my list and see where we are. I'm trying to keep this short, guys, but obviously I had a lot of stuff going on because it's 2 weeks since I last podcasted. Let's move on to spinning. So this is the skein that I finished up. I finished the plying. I had the singles done last time that I talked to you guys. This is the Willy Wonka Fibers March Club. Le Grand Jatte. It's based on the Impressionist painting by Georges Seurat. And it's got all kinds of really pretty kind of orchid purple, little tiny pops of pink, a slightly darker purple. There's some yellow in there as well. Very springy. So for this, I spun 517 yards of a 2-ply, and then it's 4.8 ounces. So it's it was the ends off of the 2 runs that I had ordered for club members. So no specific plans for this. It's so squishy. It's 80% silk, or 80% merino, 20% bamboo. No idea where the silk came from. None. Anyway, one of my favorite blends. It drapes great. I love the hand of it. This is definitely going to be a shawl at some point, but for now, into stash. And then finally, when I got home Thursday, I just needed like a comfort spin. I needed some relaxing spin time. So I broke into my April Willy Wonka Fibers Club package, which was Shetland. And it was inspired by the Diego Rivera painting called The Flower Carrier. And so nothing crazy going on with this. I just split the braid into half, and then I spun the singles up. And again, it's reading a little bit more yellow than in real life. Let's see. Yeah, that one's closer. It's got some pink. Obviously, it does have yellow in it, and some little pops of kind of mid-range blue-gray in there. So both of the singles, 2 ounces on each bobbin, are spun up, and my plan is to try to get those plied today. Probably going to be something like a worsted weight, or somewhere between DK and worsted weight, 2-ply. I really just wanted to spin something comforting. I think Shetland's easy to spin. I'm looking at yardage potentially for a pair of mittens. That's kind of what I was going for in my head. We'll see what I wind up with as the final finished project. Hopefully we'll have that to show you next week. Between now and mid-May, I'm really going to try to focus on my spin the bin projects. I've been very lax about working on that challenge. I'm not sure what's up next. I may grab an easy BFL and do that. Or I have a superwash Corriedale that I'm thinking about spinning for socks, since I'm on a socks kick. Haven't decided. Going to dig through that this afternoon as well and see what my next project on the wheel is. Probably won't get a ton of spinning done between now and when I talk to you next, simply because I'm not going to be here, and I'm not going to take a wheel or anything on the plane. So we'll have to wait till May to kind of kick it into gear. I will say, if you're a spinner and you'd like to participate next month in May, I will be setting up a chat thread chatter thread for anybody who would like to be on the Willy Wonka Fibers Tour de Fleece team. I am going to host a team again this year. Prizes, there will be some fresh spinnable roving in the shop, available in the shop in the next couple months to get folks ready in case your stash needs a little boost between now and when the tour kicks off, which I believe it's July 1st this year. I think the Tour de France kicks off on July 1st, so the Tour de Fleece will do that too. I think that is it for this week. I know this was a ton of stuff, so thank you guys for kind of bearing with me. Next week, I will not be podcasting on Monday. That's a travel day for me, but I am going to try to podcast on Tuesday, so there should just be the week plus one extra day for our next time together. And hopefully I'll have a few fun things to share with you. Not sure about finished objects because I kind of cleared the decks on the last set of travel. Again, if you've stuck with me this long today, thank you for hanging in there and hearing all about the stuff I've been working on. I will look forward to chatting with all of y'all next week, probably on Tuesday. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful work week and a really fantastic weekend. Take care, y'all. Bye.